So review from our proving triangles congruent with our postulates and theorems, side angle side, and all those fun things we learned yesterday. This is just some extra practice for you guys. And just some call outs to hear my voice also of things that I found that are really important that students sometimes mess up. So anytime that you have a shared side, so this is a 1 and a 1, so we're going to put 2 dashes there because that means that line is the same. And if you're reading from F to G to I, we see side FG and then angle G and then side GI. So that's side, angle, side for our first triangle. Then our second triangle, so we know I is I. These two have to be congruent because they are there, but it is not marked. So if it is not marked, you want to make sure that you use what they have marked. Also, do not worry about the way it looks. Like if it doesn't look the same to your eyeballs, if the markings prove that it is, then go by the markings. So what you think does not matter in this stuff. You really have to go by what the markings are and what they're telling you. So again, we have on this side, angle, side. So then these two triangles are congruent to each other by side, angle, side. And if we wanted to write our congruency statement, you want to make sure things match up. So you're working in the same directional flow. So from F to G, that would be my side. To get to my angle, for it to be side, then angle, then side, because they have to follow in a row. Then that means that I would put F, triangle from F, G, and then come down to I, and then it's named, is congruent. And since I went towards my angle on this side, I want to go towards my angle on this side. So triangle H, G, I. And another way to double check that is because your angle G's have to be in the same place, same order. And then so side FG matches side GH. Or HG, sorry, I read it backwards. So it does matter the order. Absolutely matters the order. So again, on this guy, I would make my markings as soon as you see those sides shared. And the only reason I tell you to make those markings is you will ignore them otherwise. Not every problem, but every fifth or sixth problem when you're randomly tired, you will miss out. So if you see a combined side like this or shared side, I would mark it just because it rings a little clearer in your head with the markings on it. So then we have a side, and a side. And then again, a side, side, side. So this is congruent by side, side, side. And to write our congruency statement, we want to go in order again. So I'm going to go from N, and we'll just start to the left, and I'm going to go towards O. So triangle N, O, and then to finish it, I need to go to P. Is congruent to triangle. I'm going to start it in again because N is congruent to N. N. Then it means I'm going to go to Q, and then I'm going to come up to P. And that again is reason you have to do that is because OP here, like segment OP, has to be congruent to segment QP. And then segment NO, so segment NO has to read in the same order as segment NQ. All right. So this one, we don't have a shared side, but we have vertical angles. Vertical angles are the other one that I would tell you if you have a worksheet or you're working on a piece of paper, go through and mark all of those things like shared sides and vertical angles first. So that way you don't get caught up in processing. You can just rock and roll the way you like to work through math and go fast if that's what you do. But make those marks because you will absolutely 110% forget that that's a thing. So vertical angles and shared sides are the things people most often just glaze right over when they're looking. So to write our congruency statement, we have an angle, side, angle, and then angle, side, angle between these two triangles. So it's going to be angle, side, angle. And I just pick a corner and start going in a direction. Usually the end of where the markings are. So in this case, this will just happen to me in the upper left corner. And from angle, side, angle, because these are vertical angles, so we know they're congruent. And then I just kept going to angle, side, angle. We know angle B is congruent to angle E by these markings. You know angle C is congruent to angle C because they're vertical angles. We know, sorry, I'm about to do another angle. Not another angle. What? Now that we know they're congruent, you could also say angle A to D. So angle A to congruent to angle D. And then sides, so side B, C. So that's this angle mark, B to C. So it needs to be E to C because E and B match. Congruent to EC. And again, I cannot say enough, the order matters. So then if this side is congruent to this side, then if we wanted to do AC, We're starting on the outside, working in, so we need to start on the outside and work in DC. And then from side BA, from ED to ED. ED. So you want to work in the same direction. And if they have markings that differentiate, you definitely need to make sure that you are making them match up appropriately. So there's 3 quick different of our rules from yesterday, just as a review, if you need to go back and work on your bell ringer.